All right, guys. Now you know I like talking about television show adaptations, and I think this one does have some legs to stand on. And I believe I even talked about this in an earlier video. Look, Twilight is not the best franchise. At least the films aren't, because the writing and acting are just kind of bad, and even some of the CGI and stuff. But the action is actually pretty solid. It's pretty cool action sequences, but it looks like they are going to have the series is going to be rebooted into a television series, which personally I don't have a problem with. I think it's actually a better way of telling the story. You can easily fit the the 4 books that they have into like 2 seasons, and actually do better with the character development and setting. That would definitely benefit the series. Now, the Lionsgate Television is in the early stages of making a series based on the best-selling book series by Stephanie Meyer. Sinead Daly is set to write the story for Twilight. She has worked on movies like Tell Me Lies, The Walking Dead World Beyond, interested in watching it. Raised by Wolves, really enjoyed that show. Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, don't know what that is. And The Get Down, don't know what that is either. But I do like Raised by Wolves. So just whoever Sinead Daly is, at least has done some work. The movie series, for the definitely made stars of the titular characters, Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson, both who I think have long stepped out of the shadow of how bad those films were, and definitely have honed their craft to become very accomplished actors. I really enjoyed her in Underwater, and I really enjoyed him in The Batman, but they have other great films in between and afterwards. Now, the film series did make 3.4 billion around the world, and I think that was mainly due to kind of like these teen films that started dropping at the time, led by The Hunger Games, which was probably about just as successful, or if not more successful, than Twilight. But Twilight was definitely a close second, if not equal. And then you had like Divergent, which ended up diverging in the wrong way and became pretty bad. But the first film I actually liked. So I think the television series is actually a really good idea. I think that somebody that knows how to write characters, better dialogue, good story and pacing will benefit from this. It could be a good blend between, so because this isn't the only time we've seen of Twilight isn't the only concept we've seen with vampires and werewolves and human beings in between. You got things like True Blood. You got things like Being Human. Even What We Do in the Shadows. But I think that Twilight definitely and can benefit from shows like Teen Wolf, where you actually dive more into just basically working on the characters. The characters are pretty much a problem with Twilight. I know people don't like the sparkly skin, but I'm like, their skin is made of freaking marble. What happened when marble gets in sunlight? It sparkles, so it makes sense. But I'm for it. I think it's a really good idea. There hasn't really been any casting for it, and I'd be interested who they would cast for Bella and Edward. I know they try to say Taylor Lautner was made a star, but I have not seen Taylor Lautner since that one movie he made afterwards, and that was it. It's kind of weird because it seems like the stars of Twilight kind of mimic the stars of Harry Potter, where Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson end up going to just doing all of these different movies and stuff, and then the dude that played Ron, you don't really see him do too much compared to them. Just like Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson went on to do all of these movies and stuff, and Taylor Lautner you really don't really see too much of. Not saying they don't get work or anything, but you don't see them in big budget movies and stuff like these other 4 do. But anyways, I think it's actually interesting, and I'm interested to see who they would cast. Would it be relatively unknown people or people that we've seen in the limelight now? Look, Jenna Ortega, stay out of this one. They cast her in every freaking thing. But let me not do that. I like Jenna Ortega. I think she's a really talented actress. And did y'all know that she's going to be in the new Beetlejuice film? But anyways, in the comment section below, what are your thoughts about the Twilight series being adapted for the television? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you not think it's a good idea? And who would you personally cast to play Edward, Jacob, Bella, any of these weird characters? Although I will say this, Alice is the best character next to Victoria. Those two are the best characters in the films. But anyways, let me know. Hit that like, share, subscribe, and the notification button.